The Coin Lady channel is pleased to have you back. Dear everyone, in my view, the following are the most basic frameworks for classifying the expansion and acceptance of cryptocurrency. We will now delve into additional specifics, covering topics such as DeFi, AI, gaming, Web3, RWA tokenization, payments, and much more. A great deal of detail exists. However, I believe this is the way to go if our goal is to reduce everything to its most basic elements. The current state of blockchain technology wasn't always like this, and you must now pinpoint a major change. Blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the XRP ledger, the major three, have all taken a similar approach to long-term development. As a result of their collective decision to expand in a modular approach, all three of these areas are ripe with potential for rapid expansion and widespread use right now. I think blockchain theory is the most obvious at the moment, because they've been the most successful at incorporating the concept of layer 2s and side chains thus far. Moreover, there are numerous practical uses for Matic, the excellent side chain of the Ethereum blockchain. When compared to most major layer 1 blockchains, it put them to shame in terms of transaction volume and the numbers it posted during the last bull run of value locked on chain. As for the second layer, we can see that optimism, arbitrage, and base are already in place. Layer 2s and side chains, in my opinion, offer more growth potential than simply acquiring more Ethereum directly, especially considering the amount of growth and adoption we can expect in the near future. This is because they are more closely tied to ecosystem theory. The XRP ledger is the second fascinating example. However, there is an intriguing catch with XRP that we will discuss. This, though, is the blockchain's destiny. We aim to expand our use of XRP beyond payments and its current role as a bridge currency. We don't want smart contracts on the main chain, but it's decided that they are necessary for a lot of things. Thus, detach it from the two side chains that make up layer 2. The approach is completely different, yet the scaling solutions are the same in the end. You can perform anything on the main chain on the Ethereum blockchain. Additionally, it dumps all activity onto layer 2s and other scaling options when things are expensive and slow. As for the XRP ledger, we're cutting to the chase by announcing that we will have highly customized capabilities. Additionally, for the more intricate tasks, it would be more appropriate to execute them on a linked chain, which would provide a scaling solution. Avoiding the main chain altogether would be a little distinction, but I anticipate that our future directions would be markedly different. Because this is the first time the XRP ledger has been able to accomplish things beyond just simple payments and swaps of IOU stuff like this, I think it presents a fantastic opportunity, because it's so new. You had to keep an eye on this. We should be on the lookout for new chances and tasks, because they will most likely arrive quickly. When everyone else is sleeping, that's when you want to be. Right at the beginning of the construction process, when you can see who has the skills and potential and jump on board before everybody else. It's exactly what you desire. In case you forgot, I mentioned that the XRP ledger had an intriguing caveat. When you get down to brass tacks, all they are doing is laying forth a hypothesis that you may expand upon any way you like. It's all about the programmability. You can literally build whatever you can imagine. Thus, they have observed the past 3 or 4 years and concluded that DeFi has achieved tremendous success. Therefore, we will not limit ourselves to merely use side chains and layer 2, rather, we will incorporate the functionality that has proven successful in the most popular decentralized applications, dApps, to date. A few examples of these fundamental characteristics and systems are AMS, borrowing, and lending. We can seamlessly include that into the main chain. Although it is specific and fine-tuned, it is utilized extensively in the adoption of crypto. Since we anticipate its significance for the Macan chain, we will include it in the foundation layer. We will next go on to the scaling solution for 2 of the largest blockchains, which take very different techniques, but are both ripe for rapid expansion and widespread use. Finally, Bitcoin Layer 2 is maybe the most innovative, exciting, and fascinating. I can tell you this explosion is coming because I'm paying close attention. The future is uncertain to me. I mean, how much of this Bitcoin Layer 2 will actually work in the end? They are known as the purists. Even the maxis despise it. They act as if the blockchain is irrelevant to anything other than Bitcoin, as if it were digital gold. Also, you aren't altering the core code unless you're modifying that layer in a fundamental way, like Bitcoin. Adding layer 2s and other systems is what you're aiming for. It seems okay to me. A large number of transactions on the chain might be a result of it. But in the long run, those deals won't stand a chance if they're not valuable. Even if there's a lot of hype around FOMO, many transactions will still occur on the chain even if monkey pictures, or poop emojis, don't have any real long-term value. We must exercise extreme caution in determining precisely what constitutes long-term value and the appropriate uses of an open-source public blockchain, but in the long run, the unnecessary features will disappear from practical use while the valuable ones will remain. For a long time, I would read the Bitcoin white paper and assume that the cryptocurrency is a decentralized payment system, PSS, as Satoshi originally stated that. Now I notice that this is still true when I look at Bitcoin today. You can even transmit smaller payments using technologies like Lightning. While this isn't explicitly stated in the Bitcoin white paper, the cryptocurrency has naturally evolved toward its most ideal application, as a medium of exchange and a form of digital gold. All of Satoshi's claims and plans from that first vision won't come to pass since he isn't a priest. If we had stuck to the original white paper and concept of a P2P payment system to the letter, it would have made perfect sense to implement Bitcoin Cash's large blocks, instant P2P payments, and low transaction fees. However, Bitcoin's true power lies in its incredibly straightforward design. The idea that a network may be decentralized and distributed with nothing more complicated than a large number of nodes. The public's ability to vote on the asset's worth is central to public blockchains. Otherwise, the blockchain risks being suboptimal in the long run if a select few try to dictate its worth. This is why decentralization is so important. It boosts confidence in the underlying asset and encourages investment. There are a variety of ways to approach this. For example, you could learn all about Ethereum, Layer 2s, and side chains, invest in coins like Matic Optimism, and speculate on their value, or become involved with specific projects, such as the various DeFi apps and NFTs used in video games. Similarly, with XRP, you might take advantage of all the new developments that are about to emerge. For example, Wells had a 100x return on his EQ token the last time around. If we move forward with XRP, this possibility is absolutely insane. After that, there's Bitcoin Layer 2. This exponential growth is very bewildering to me. I have no idea what the point is, and I've spent a lot of time trying to figure it out. But one thing is certain, there are a plethora of new systems in the horizon. But if you can sort through all that and choose the victors, it will be wild. That way you may delve into the details. But there's also another, just as valid, way to do it. Hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. That will expose you to all of that. And I'm going to purchase the primary tokens since I'm sure I'll profit greatly from the demand and growth. A good example of this is when I was sitting down with DEM Logic just before the previous bull run, and we were discussing the explosion on the Binance chain. The coin was maybe $50 at the time. And we're asking, what are the most effective farming systems in this area? And just which Nance ecosystem tokens are we hoping to acquire? Buying more Nance tokens would have been the simple part, right? For the simple reason that demand is going to skyrocket. In my opinion, the second layer of Ethereum is the simplest to get into. All you have to do is purchase the major tokens there. Then you can pick how to approach it and how much time you want to spend going through all this stuff. buying BNB itself is the simplest way to do it. Beyond that, though, a lot more demand growth is on the horizon. It all depends on how much effort and risk you're prepared to put into learning about those primary ecosystems, how much water you're willing to consume, and what kind of fresh things are emerging. The big three are Ethereum, Bitcoin, and XRP, as I mentioned before. I believe it is essential to include the main layer 1 smart contract blockchains, which are Ethereum's rivals. Plus, everyone's experience with this will be unique. Personally, of course. Flare is so cool. What they are doing is great, especially the focus on data, which will have a huge impact. Cardano, Polka, Cosmos Atom and Nearby are my largest assets in this area, but there are many other options. Solana, HBAR, Aptos, Phantom, I have Algorithm, are all favorites of some. Despite the many problems with our grant, I think that price point represents a fantastic buying opportunity when it drops below the 10-cent area. For a long time, that has been my goal. Above that, I'm not buying it. However, if we go down to around that 10-cent range at Moroga, we can see that they all have different architectures and approaches to scaling. For example, Polkadot and Pair of Chains are different from your big three. And speaking about water scalability options, Cardano has an intriguing vision for developing and growing their blockchain, and I believe that is just what you are seeking: fresh perspectives on this matter. Because suddenly someone may come up with the greatest strategy and corner a disproportionate share of the market. Early on in this growth cycle, I achieved a few goals, but which ones have failed to meet expectations? Dotted Polka Cardano, you need not worry. These are premier blockchains with fantastic developers and large communities. The value will increase in the long run, and Cosmos Atom did not fare well in its early days. That could be the case. Eventually, they will simply disappear. In my opinion, all three will contribute significantly over the long run and perform admirably. And it is the key point. Who has the systems that can actually keep building out and scale to satisfy global demand? That is, in my view, the one thing that truly matters: growth, adoption, and scalability. Ultimately, that's likely the only thing that counts. Well, that concludes our video. Like and subscribe as usual, and feel free to leave a comment with your opinions. Muchas gracias, depart.